Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. This is today's project, and I'm going to put a precursor to this. We might get a sister kitty in this video. I have been trying to film for 20 minutes, but Berry is absolutely determined to join us, so I have a paintbrush in order to try and distract her right now. So, and I have to film the video because my children are going to be home from school soon. So this is today's project. Yes, please take the paintbrush. Good girl. It's lovely. It's a lidded box, and I've gone Poppy Parade at the bottom, Poppy Parade here. I genuinely don't know if these are poppies. I don't think they are. I'm going to say they're very open tulips, but, you know, I'm horticulturally challenged. We all know this. But I just thought it was lovely. I thought it was very pretty, and I'm totally addicted to using blends. So you need, for the base, a piece of cardstock that is 8 by 11 inches, 20 by 27.5 centimetres, and for your lid you need a piece of paper, and you kind of have to eyeball where your biggest images are going to be. You want them in the centre if possible, but I'm okay with it being a little offset. But this measures 6 by 9 inches, which is 15 by 22.5 centimetres. And so the base, don't lose the brush, I need you to keep that to play. She's trying to take out the box, all sorts. So on the base, we're going to score that at 2 inches on all 4 sides. So that's 5 centimetres on all 4 sides. And then the lid, we're going to score it at 1 inch, 2.5 centimetres, but just actually a tiny little bit less than an inch. So like 15/16 or 2.3.5 centimetres, but really it's just a tiny little bit, enough to give the lid clearance over the sides of the box, because you don't want your box to buckle. Okay, so I'm just double checking, and yes, that did just about fit. So that's the edge of my box, which means I've got this great big image here. That is the one I'm going to colour. So I'm going to do that before I do anything else. So let me zoom in. Okay, I'm just checking where the cat is. Okay, so I've got my 2 blends, and I've got them in matching colours, Magenta Madness, and I've got the light and the dark. And I kind of just go backwards and forwards with the light and the dark. So I'm going to put my light lid there and my dark lid there. And it's this little section here that I'm going to go with, and then obviously the green there. So we'll have a little bit of light on this one, probably not too much, and then a bit of dark. And actually, you know what, I'm going to colour the centres. This is why I'm confused. They look for all the world like they're poppies, but then that one doesn't look like a poppy, it looks like a tulip. So I'm just going backwards and forwards just to keep layering up. And the reason I'm doing a zigzag motion is because the lines on the image, on the paper, are up and down, so I'm kind of just following those as much as anything. There's method in my madness. You'll see that on occasion I will do a circular motion, and that's if the flower shape dictates that it goes like that. But hey, you know, this is painting by numbers, because Stampin' Up has already provided me with these little lines, and I can follow those. So again, just going over. Oops. And I've gone over the lines, that's okay, I don't mind. So it's just Berry who's in the office with me today. If you've seen on my Instagram, on my business page, perhaps you'll know that we have a new kitten in the family. I actually collected her on my birthday. She wasn't a birthday present. We don't do pets as birthday presents in our family. We just, you know, have pets. But it happened to be my birthday that I collected her on. And she is a Siamese kitten. She's a traditional style Siamese, which means that she has the very rounded head. She doesn't have the elongated oriental look. And we named her Fauna. We went through lots and lots of names. And as you know, my cats seem to be named after food. So I had the wonderful Fennel, And I also had Raisin, who lives with my mum and dad. She didn't like noisy children. And I have Sorrel and Berry. And we went through lots of different names. I loved Thistle. The boys not so keen. We did bring out some foodie ones. Lots of you suggested Cinnamon and Nutmeg, which actually are names that we've given cats before. The first Siamese I ever grew up with was my mum and dad's Siamese, and he was called Cinnamon. So obviously we couldn't replicate those names again. We had Faline, which, if you know your Disney references, Faline is Bambi's love interest. And that kind of is how we ended up with Fauna. So obviously flora and fauna, if you know what that is. So flora and fauna. The flora refers to the vegetation and flowers of a particular area, and fauna is the word that's used to describe wildlife of an area. Fauna, however, is one of Sleeping Beauty's godmothers, fairy godmothers. Because there's Flora, Fauna and Merryweather, which is how we stumbled across the name. But yeah, we had all sorts of names. I wanted Moth. I also wanted Mustard Seed, for those who know their Shakespeare references. We'd had lots, but you know, I've got a family of 5 men, men, and they were quite vocal in their opinions. But yeah, we have Fauna, but she's not big enough yet to come upstairs into the office, so she spends her sleeping hours in our snug downstairs. And she has food and litter box in there, and then she comes out to play of an evening. Well, actually, whenever she wakes up and cries, I go and let her out. But yeah, just downstairs yet. So she won't be appearing in a video just yet. It might be a little time. Look at me, crafting video, and I'm talking about a cat. But she will be making her debut at some point in time. She's into everything. Sorrel and Berry are a Savannah and Bengal respectively. So that was Berry, who is here as a Bengal. And people said to me, gosh, you're very brave taking on such active cats. You know, they're going to keep you on your toes. I have to say, I must have the 2 most placid cats of those breeds ever. They get up in the morning, have breakfast, play for about 20 minutes while I'm doing, you know, getting everybody ready for school. And they're usually in bed by the time I get back from the school run, and I don't see them again until the evening. And that really is it. And then they'll have some more food. They spend all day behind my computer monitor. This is quite rare for Berry to be out in the middle of the day. They'll have half an hour playtime, and then they'll just go back to sleep on the sofa with us in the lounge, and then go to bed in the kitchen overnight, and then I'll see them the next day. Seriously, they don't move, these cats. And so little Fauna comes out to play. She's like, oh, come and play with me, come and play with me. And they're like, yeah, no, that's too energetic, we're not doing that. Right, so there you go. I chatted away while colouring my flowers, and I'm going to get my much beloved Just Jade. This, I think, is my favourite green for using with blends. It's just beautiful. I really love Shaded Spruce. Actually, you know what? Oh, Lane Swerve. I do love Shaded Spruce, and actually that is a bit brighter to go with this. We'll take my number 2 spot, green. So, again, I'm just following these lines that Stampin' Up's very, very handily provided us with. And go over them. See, that's quite nice. Yes, yep, I was right to change my mind and go with Shaded Spruce. But so yeah, those are my 2. This is Just Jade is the one I will go for more than I will pick Shaded Spruce. But that, I think, works really rather well, actually. So if I bring in my original one, so that's with the Just Jade and the Poppy Parade, but that's with that. Oh, yes, that was the right call, Sam. Okay, let's build the box, because we're almost done now. And look at that pretty pattern on the back. Right, bone folder. I've done this technique. You've seen me do it on cards, on other bags and things, and obviously I'm now doing it as the lid for a box. I love it. did very much enjoy colouring in as a child. I'm the right generation to remember barrel pens that were all the same colour barrel, and it was just the lids that was different. It was not orange barrel or sort of a yellowy colour. And it was just the lids that were different. I'm that generation to have done lots of colouring in, particularly of geometric designs. I remember having my tonsils taken out in the 80s and going to hospital and in London, and my parents bringing me this book of geometric designs and a packet of these barrel pens to colour in. But it was something that I stopped doing as I got older, and I think that's probably the same for most of us. You know, perhaps stopped colouring in. And I would guess my reminder of the enjoyment of it came with my boys, but again, as they got older, I stopped doing it. So this is nice for me to do. It's very gentle. I rather like it. So you've seen where I've cut there. So I've wedged into the squares and left the rectangle straight. I'm going to do exactly the same on here. No difference, except that that is very geometric and I can't really see. Oh. Oops. Wow. Don't look too closely. Don't stare too closely at the camera. Oh, seriously, that is like, it's like one of those, what do they call them? Magic Eye 3D image things, where if you had to stare at it and suddenly like an animal would appear. Goodness me. Right, okay, let me grab some tear and tape. So I'm trying to think where we are in the calendar. It's Easter holidays. Obviously, as you know, I filmed these a few days ahead of time, but yeah, we're Easter holidays here now. So the children are 2 weeks off school, which is good. They, the children only came out of lockdown a couple of weeks ago. They've had 3 weeks in school, and now they've got 2 weeks off, which is good. We need that circuit breaker in school right now. So yeah, Easter holidays. So if you are off because of the Easter holidays, let me know what you're doing, because we're all at home not doing anything. Let me know what you're up to. I will be taking time off over Easter weekend next weekend, of course, but I will be doing stuff with the children at home. We have clearing out wardrobes as an activity planned. Rock and roll. Everybody's wardrobes, mine too. We're going to go through those. We're going to make some plans for the garden. We haven't done anything in our garden in the 4 years we've been here. Ooh, that's what's happened today. It's 31st of March, so I've been in my house 4 years today. But yeah, we've never done anything to the garden. We inherited a hot tub on decking when we moved in, and the decking has really given up the ghost. And the garden is mostly grass, but there's sort of like an ornamental area that had faux sleepers bordering it. They're not real sleepers, they're just lumps of wood, and so they've given up. So yeah, we're kind of planning an overhaul, so that's what I'll be doing with my artistically designing eldest son Jack. He will be helping in that. That's really pretty in that pink. That's very pretty. It's the same flower. It's from the same sheet of paper. How is that a different way round? Interesting, but I like that very much in the pink. Right, okay, I'm going to show you how to do this bow because it crosses. I call it a chocolate box closure. I don't know if that's the right name for it. I just know when I've been fortunate enough to get a fancy box of chocolates, they always seem to be tied like that. So you start where you want to end. You start where you want your bow to be, and you don't go at the edges because it's just going to fall off. You come in further, go across and round, and then you bring it across on yourself. I don't know that I need to teach you how to do this. I'm sure you could probably see it for yourselves when you try to do one yourself. And that's loosened up a little bit, and when you tighten, it tightens as well. There we go. I really like that. I think that's so pretty. I love it in the pink. I loved it in the Poppy Parade. Red is my favourite colour, with green as a very close second. So I would instinctively always go, oh, I love the red. If somebody made me, you know, said to me, which do you prefer? I'd just go red, but actually I really like the pink. The Magenta Madness blends are particularly good for blending. You get this wonderful definition that I hope is coming out on camera. You see, look, you can tell I love red. I have my nails red this week. But the Poppy Parade is just beautiful. I hope you like it. I hope it didn't bore you while I was chattering on about my cats and my garden, but you know, it's nice for you to hear a little bit about me sometimes. And I will be doing the Q&A very soon. Take care, everybody. Hope to speak to you soon. Bye.